Welcome to Her Voice, Radhika.
Thank you so much, Shweta. Indeed a pleasure. And when you told me about this, I was so excited, more excited because you were kind of interviewing me. So I've never had this setup with you ever. So
It's an honor and delight to
Thank you.
have the most iconic brand consultant
Thank
of
you.
Ahmedabad.
Thank you so much.
And there's such a big arc with Open Slate. The way you've led this journey
Yes.
as a self-made, iconic brand that
Yes.
we can't wait to tread onto that path,
Absolutely.
rewind, and understand much better about it.
Absolutely. So I think two creative minds today together, and it should be a great interview. So yeah,
Looking forward to it.
go ahead.
So, Radhika, let's rewind. I think, the seeds of future are always planted in the past. So,
Mhm.
you were this little girl who enjoyed visual experience and
Mhm.
storytelling.
Yeah.
Who grew up to pick up a career which was very unconventional.
Yeah.
Okay. Without a mentorship,
Mhm.
building a brand like the Open Slate
Yeah.
in a city which was not known for, the kind of stride it was trying to lead in the kind of field that you wanted to master.
True.
So
True.
talk us about this journey of what that young impressionable girl,
Yeah. So I will,
Correct.
of course, I mean, this response will be the longest response for me, but I'll cut it short. Just because a lot of people don't know the journey in detail. So I'm from Ahmedabad, and then I had a different version of my life in Bombay. So after my 12th grade, I shifted to Bombay, and I was in Bombay for 10 to 12 years. And then I moved back to the city. Why did I move back? I'll come to that part. But the inspiration actually came from my exposure in Mumbai. I used to see my cousins who were into advertising. They were one of the biggest influence for me initially to the world of advertising. And then I studied bachelor's in advertising as well, which is called BMM. As a child, my funda was कि मुझे अहमदाबाद से निकलना है, and I don't want to do the typical bachelor's of commerce, BCom and BBA, which was the trend during my time. So BMM was the closest option. Bombay was the closest city. So I just kind of jumped, plunged in, and I was clueless how to even kind of go for it. But theek hai, that journey has been long, and I kind of plunged into it, and it was great. And during that time, I started working with a lot of advertising firms, a lot of editing studios, because film, advertising, all of that was a part of our curriculum. And plus, I kind of stopped taking money from the age of 19. So I've been working from the age of 19 and been completely on my own. So I was doing a lot of odd jobs and kind of exploring what I want to do eventually and find my niche. Initially, I was very clear that, hey, I want to become a media planner. But when I started working, my first internship was with McCann Erickson in Bombay. And when I started doing that, I realized, boss, this is not like a full-fledged. It was very interesting, very intriguing, great with numbers, but not something I could do like a desk job properly. Then I explored multiple fields. I was working with Tatas. And then through Tatas, through a friend there, I got introduced to another friend who owned a boutique PR firm. And that's when my journey to marketing and PR actually started. Tata's, my immediate bosses gave me a great grooming experience. So as a young adult, when you groom yourself, right, Tata's was the perfect space. So I always would suggest every youngster to work with a corporate initially. Eventually, if they want to continue or do something of their own, that's a different thing. But a corporate structure always grooms you well, and a good mentor always, kind of adds value to your life overall. And then I was introduced to the world of PR and marketing. My first experience, which I remember this very clearly, I was absolutely new to this field of PR. And my first experience was with a Hollywood director called Baz Luhrmann. And that was my first job. We were launching this hotel called Le Sutra, which is world's first Indian art hotel. And there were around 90 plus NID artists who had worked on that project. Very interesting project. And Baz Luhrmann had come in. And imagine, I'm talking like 10, 15 years back, where
it is unheard of.
Hollywood director coming to India. It was crazy. And my immediate boss had to travel. So I was the only one who was clueless about how PR worked. And there were these, how PR in Bombay is, media person, crazy, 100 to 200 people. But what a fab flow of event it was, and great event. And I think I did well. And that was my first experience into PR. But after that, so when I was doing PR, I got introduced to a lot of brands. My boss gave me a lot of, leeway to kind of interact with a lot of people, meet a lot of people. I was practically handling at least 15 brands altogether, right?
So how old were you at that time?
I was 23, I think
So it's
22,
like 4 years
23.
into,
Yeah,
starting
yeah,
out on your own.
absolutely,
You were so
absolutely.
grown
22
up
or
by then.
23, yeah. So I enjoyed that experience, knowing people, understanding brands, working one-on-one. To be very honest, I was not even earning that well, but I think the exposure that I got and the patience I had throughout to kind of, gain more experience rather than earn a lot more, versus today's generation does it the other way around, right? So I think that really helped me. And because I was working one-on-one with my immediate boss, that kind of gave me a lot of, she groomed me a lot. She kind of trained me a lot, and my vision to PR and marketing completely changed. But of course, over the time, then I started traveling because I was earning. So then my exposure to the world happened, right? And when you travel, you kind of realize a lot of, you put that vision together, the work you do versus what the world is doing. And that kind of broadened my horizon entirely, that what do I want to do in life. So creation was something that I realized I really enjoy. So give me a product, and then I would love to create an event around it or create some experience around it. I just kind of then correlated it to branding. And that's when the business aspect of my journey began. And that's how OpenSlate came into the picture. Coming to how did OpenSlate come in the picture? It was more of, when I got back to Ahmedabad, Ahmedabad was an extremely business dominated city. What I also realized was that there were a lot of advertising firms who tried to venture into Ahmedabad, but they were not at all successful. Of course, they were working with the top brands, but then there was no niche agency here as such, or an experiential firm who kind of did great ideas.
Do you also feel because the city is more about the relation that people share and the trust it builds to kind of, do the storytelling of a brand through it?
My response to that would be yes now. But back then it was extremely crazy because people did not understand branding. The questions I was asked was that, listen, if I'm investing this, what is the ROI? Branding is not ROI. Branding is like a mutual fund, right? It's a long-term game. You have to look at it as an investment and not an expense. So I always tell brands that, okay, if you are kind of, if you're introducing your brands, forget the investment you do in marketing for at least a year. And then you have to kind of course, you have to know your path to it, that what do you want to achieve, but forget the investment. And after a year is when you start seeing results, right? But Ahmedabad did not understand that. A lot of things changed for us post-COVID when the digital world picked up. For me, starting OpenSlate was I was very clear that I want to build a community which has everything and anything related to branding, marketing, advertising, content creation, and the creative world. But creativity was not something which was well accepted. And post-COVID, I think the entire ballgame of creativity changed. The digital world picked up. My team grew from 3 to at least 25 to 30 of us, right? As a collectively, if I look at our team. And now the rest is history. You've been a part of our events as well, and you've seen how the city has evolved. And I think I was just lucky to be in the right city at the right time. During this journey, I also invested a lot of time initially. OpenSlate did not become successful overnight. OpenSlate is 7 years old now. But before OpenSlate, I was also consulting. I moved back from Bombay. I was still working with my Bombay firm.
I've known you through that journey as well.
Yes. So then imagine.
I've known you as a standalone brand consultant.
Yeah,
and then
correct. So then I said, okay, let me experiment. How does it go, right? And I did that. And when I did that, I was getting zero business. My mother was like, what are you up to, right? I mean, are you sure you want to do this? That time, I think the only thing that helped me was my investment in people. So I invested a lot of time in knowing the city, in knowing the people, in knowing the mindset of the people. And I think today at OpenSlate, while of course we have a trajectory of working with very interesting brands, but I think the biggest strength that I, and of course eventually my team possesses, is knowing the audience. And I think that nobody knows it the way we do and the way I do, because I've literally spent individual time with people. And I think I just converted that strength into business. And that's how the journey of OpenSlate started.
So you know the pulse of the city.
I do.
Your relations with everyone is so personally strong that it's more for the love of, the vision that you have,
Yes.
that people believe in it even before it is launched.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I think you're a pioneer.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is.
And I firmly believe that, if today, Shweta, you're taking time out and coming to our event, for me, from the moment you walk in, you're my responsibility. So from the moment you walk in, it has to be worth your time.
Yes.
Because if it's not worth your time, then that experience, even for the brand and even for you eventually, or even for our relation, is lost, right? So that is something we really value, people and their time. So
I've
yes.
been on a very abundant receiving end.
Yes.
And I think this is a very important aspect that you've touched, because, that is the same community that comes back.
Yes.
Event
absolutely.
after event.
Yeah.
So it's only when it is one wow, another wow, that you feel like, no, we really want to be a part of it and we
True.
can't wait to be there again.
True.
So
True.
it's a fabulous job done.
Thank you.
And,
Thank
as much as you have been, forging your own path, I think you're mentoring your team.
Yes.
And everyone, having this dream, telling them that just have a clarity of where you want to go.
Yeah.
The path will appear.
Yeah, absolutely. I work with a lot of youngsters, right? And I always tell each one of them. So, of course, apart from working, I also share a bond with them at a personal level.
You are the Gen Z boss.
Gen
like
Z
we
boss,
know
Gen
you.
Z boss. And I work a lot with Gen Zs. I deal a lot with Gen Zs. I think मुझे भी Gen Z जैसा ही feel होता है.
You're forever young, because of
So,
them now.
Yeah, actually, that's the thing. So, I see a lot of benefit in working with Gen Zs. But yes, of course, I always tell them that one is focus, but more than focus, it's extremely important to have balance of mind, right? And like when somebody asks me, which is your biggest fear, I always tell them the balance of mind. Because if you don't have that, there's a thin layer between, being famous, being intelligent, being patient, doing well in life, but then suddenly losing a lot in life, because I see a lot of anxiety coming in, right? But you should know how to multitask. You should know how to balance yourself. You should know yourself well. Forget the world. I think it's extremely important to invest in yourself, to invest in time, to invest in your mental health, to invest in fitness. Once you have that sorted, trust me, something or the other you will achieve in life. The levels can be different for everyone, but I think I'm pretty sure about that. So
this is actually going to be my last question as to pearls of wisdom, which we will come back to
Yes,
it.
yes.
But I think it is great the way, you've told everybody to be more centered within.
True.
And everything else will follow with
True,
it.
absolutely.
So I think with someone who is into, brand, legacy building, who was your icon growing up? What was your vision board like to reach where you have reached? And also, what was your anchoring point? Has your mother had a really big role to play?
Yes.
She is a teacher herself.
Yes.
And, igniting young minds is what teachers really do.
Yeah. So I don't think I had I learned a lot from a lot of people. My cousins who were into advertising, as I said, they were the biggest influence for me in terms of introducing myself to the world of advertising. Then I had my boss, Riddhi, who kind of trained me, groomed me a lot to the world of marketing and PR. And, I don't think I knew even how to write well. And I think she kind of, I would write emails. She would personally check what teacher check karti hai, she would personally check, because that time we didn't have any chat GPT. Even online, it was not that easy, right? So then eventually that trained me a lot. Apart from that, I think my biggest influence, it's not just a person, but it's travel. I think traveling has broadened my horizon a lot when I meet newer people. I do a very different kind of travel. You will never find me at malls in any of the travel visits. You will always find me with a lot of people, random journeys. And I like to know a lot about that. And that's when I love to observe people, the way they think. And that's how the brand stories are, right? Like, so if you ask me if any brand has influenced me, not particularly, but there have been a lot of brands who have done iconic work, right? And I think that has influenced me a lot.
That's very interesting to know. I've known how big a travel explorer you are.
Yeah.
And I think from that, I would really like to understand much more as to what is the bigger umbrella of TOS now branching out into travel, becoming a very important
yes.
segment.
So, just to kind of run people through what TOS does, we of course have 3 verticals which we are known for. One is your social media marketing, content creation, anything and everything related to branding and marketing. The other vertical is we don't do the corporate or wedding events. We look at more of branding or experiential events, and influencer marketing is also part of it. Also, we run a community page which is called the Open Slate Official, which tells you about Ahmedabad, Gujarat, what's happening, what's new. Parallelly, as you said, this was something which is work, but how did we combine work and travel? So we introduced a vertical called the Open Slate Experiences, and that is something which we this year want to explore a lot more. So what we realized is that while working with brands, of course, it's a great experience. We worked with some of the most iconic brands. It's a great experience. However, with brands, you always have a mandate to follow. So I have to do things their way. Cultural experiences was something which I think a country like India did not know how to go about.
Right.
So you are a traveler as well. And when you travel to parts of Europe and anywhere else,
Japan also for that
Japan,
matter,
right?
because it's-
History,
yeah.
heritage is given so much value. While we are a heritage city, we don't know how to utilize our heritage spots well. And that's when I realized that, culture is something which is being forgotten. Ab jaise Uttarayan aati hai. So Uttarayan time, what do we do? Previously, if you remember,
Four
4
baje
baje savere utke, we used to previously go shopping 13th ko, and then 14th
Manja
we
leke
would,
aate the,
hai na?
you'd
all
touch
of
your
that.
cards,
Now,
everything.
and then, our relatives would come from elsewhere. Now it's become more of a holiday.
Yes.
My thing was, yes, of course, times have changed. Life has become more hectic. So holiday should be a holiday, but I'm giving them an experience. I'm giving them a cultural experience with a little modern twist and making everybody a part of it, even the ones who don't know how to fly kites, right? So this year we did Uttarayan in a 150-year-old Haveli, and there were 400 plus people. And we just kind of had spots for everyone, right? So this year, I want to take it on a larger scale, have different stages for kite flying, have music, have great food, curate some great food. So make it like a festival altogether.
That's why your journeys inspire you.
Yes.
Like, how Tomorrowland is for music lovers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You're incorporating the Indian festivals to reach that scale.
So Ahmedabad per se has a great crowd. Has we have especially when I see the Gen Z crowd also, right? We have a great crowd, but what I feel is missing is curation.
Yes.
What I feel is missing is the experiences, the kind of experiences, and especially winters is a great time to do a lot of stuff. So Uttarayan is something we're doing, Holi is something. So experiences vertical is something which is new. And eventually, just to respond to your question, 2 years down the line, my vision is to have make Open Slate like a Soho house, right? And have a creative house, not just for Ahmedabad, of course, different cities. Hopefully, if not, then definitely Ahmedabad for sure.
Your
So that's
vision
the
and
vision.
story is so strong, I don't even need to ask questions because I always felt that, TOS is in the foots of like House of Gucci, House
Wow.
of Dior, and you already mentioned that is what
Thank
is
you.
on your vision board.
So yeah.
I think with, someone who's so focused in life,
Yeah.
someone who has such a big vision, it'll be a privilege to be under your mentorship, especially because you're such a young boss with that kind of plan.
Thank you. Thank you. And I get a lot of youngsters who want to do that. And I always tell them that, the job looks very fancy and a lot of fun, but there's a lot of hard work behind. So people who've stuck with me, my core team has been with me and they've been really working hard. But there are people who come, who join, and then, the hard work is kind of something which they don't kind of calculate that, okay, this is something we'll have to do, and then they get tired. So the journey has been definitely long. A lot of hard work has gone behind it, but I think fortunately we've been in the right direction and we've done well.
Very proud to know the entire journey.
Thank
and
you.
Looking for so many decades ahead of it becoming a bigger and bigger
Thank you so
umbrella.
much, Ratasha. Thank you so much.
So had it not been for Open Slate or, being a brand genie, what would Radhika have?
This will sound
Percy
very
would.
random, but astronaut.
Oh my God, I would never
Space,
guess.
yes, space kind of, my space intrigues me a lot. So astronaut, but when I realized you have so much to study, I left it midway. I said, nahi, this is the wrong name.
बहुत
But
सारे
astronaut.
galaxies को राधिका नहीं मिली.
I wish I earn so much कि मैं वो एक space ticket ले सकूं. That's
you
my
can do
dream.
a year's experience in one of the galaxies.
Oh my God, that would be amazing if I can do that.
Okay. So for a girl who loves brand, tell us which are your 5 favorite brands.
My 5 favorite brands would be, I like a lot of Indian brands as well. So, Bulgari, of course, as an international brand, I love. Gucci, I love the way they do their shows. These are 2 international brands. In terms of Indian brands, I like the way Kama has positioned themselves by even opening in London. I think they have been subtle. They have not been out there. But in a good way, they've kind of done well. Rahul Mishra as a designer, I think he's done. Of course, you have Sabyasachi as well, but I think Rahul Mishra is trying to do it in a very different way.
Okay, so with this, let's understand which was the first iconic brand collaboration where you felt, okay, TOS has arrived.
Yeah.
And which is the most aspirational one.
So two iconic ones, right? One was the first event. I had just launched OpenSlate. So many people did not know of OpenSlate back then, but it was Vogue. We worked with Vogue and we did event in
Was it like
Ahmedabad.
Vogue Atelier?
Yes, Vogue Atelier. And it was just with 100 people. So that was one big event because then we had an article as well in Vogue and the OpenSlate name was there. So that was like a dream for me. But I think what also kind of gave us a lot of visibility was the Starbucks launch in Ahmedabad. I think that was the, something which kind of made us come completely in the limelight. This was back in 2019,
Just before COVID.
Just before COVID. 2018 or 2019. 2018 was Vogue and 2019 August was Starbucks.
And I also remember the punchline was, we are here to stay.
Yes.
Because Ahmedabad as a city has so many local, coffee places.
Yes.
And people are very price conscious.
Yeah.
So since you know the pulse of the city, see how it reflected in creating that.
And the other day, I was just talking to my team as well. So all the coffee brands in the city we've launched. Starbucks, Tim Hortons, Coffee by DiBella. And there's one more we are launching soon now. So all the national and international brands we've launched in the city. So that was iconic. In fact, all the fashion brands as well, which came into. So it was Ensemble, Azad, Jade. Back to back it happened. So that kind of makes me happy.
And I think from coffee, now it is food and luxury food curation.
Yes.
So we can't. I think Ahmedabad is very lucky.
Absolutely. Indeed. And it's changing well and it's changing for the...
And it's embracing and adapting to it.
Yes, true.
Thank you for, initiating that culture.
Thank you. And I just hope we kind of together also work together and we do a lot more for the city. My idea is always to kind of build a creative community. And that's what we wish to do. And I hope we can grow it more.
Would love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And from moving on from here, if we have to get nostalgic about your journey, tell me what Radhika would tell her 16-year-old self on a coffee date, since you love coffee the way you love.
Yes.
And what would she tell her 70-year-old self, looking back on her life lessons?
16 would be save a little, right? Because I would never save. I would always give excuses. I started saving a lot later in life. And 70-year would be, I don't know. I don't even want to think how old and how soon we'll turn 70.
You're going to be young at heart.
Yeah, I always tell my friends also, none of us feel, how old we are. But would be to become, to focus a lot more on fitness. I think that is something, because to stay fit is, I think, extremely important. And
did you ever dream of leaving a legacy behind where people, very joyously know you for more than just the brand that
absolutely, absolutely. For me, I'm very clear. It's not the wealth. It's not, I know a lot of people think legacy as wealth or owning a large company. For me, it's what you've created. I always often tell the youngsters that your biggest strength, apart from the balance of mind that I mentioned, is not only what you possess, because everybody wants brands. It is about how it's your intellect, it's your knowledge. Knowledge is the biggest strength and your biggest wealth. And that is something, I think that's the legacy I would like to leave behind. So it's what I create is where I would want people to remember me in terms of what my creation is, rather than who I was, what was my wealth, nothing of that sort,
That's very refreshing and authentic.
Yes.
We're so glad you think like that.
Thank you.
So on a parting note, Radhika, since you've been the one to, forge your own path, we would love to have our young audience, hear your pearls of wisdom of how to build your own personal brand and believe and, have your own path ahead.
Right. So I as I told you, one is some gyan I've already given you in terms of balance of mind. But I also feel, so I'd read something very interesting in Yuval Harari's book. I forgot the name of the book, but, it says that in this world of AI and, when you are constantly being loaded by information, and if there's this very famous reel by, I think, Arundhati, or I don't know, but they say that never has it was Arundhati, mankind been in a space where there's so much information from everywhere. And Yuval's book says about the fact that it talks about information diet, right? Because it's like, how we have a
Yes.
nutritious diet, we have to focus on what we are eating. Because आजकल तो कुछ भी available है. It also speaks about information diet, on how to consume, what to consume. My pearls of wisdom would be I see a lot of youth being very dependent on the digital medium. While of course digital medium is great, but use it as a tool to expedite your work rather than being dependent on it. And secondly, just be yourself. I think today the social media has changed the entire perspective of being original, the entire perspective of being comfortable, the entire perspective of just being you. If you ask me, you call me to an event, I can come well dressed and I can come casually dressed, right? For me, that presence and what I bring to that event matters a lot more than my appearance, right? People unfortunately think a lot more about the appearance rather than what do they bring, to the event or, XYZ. So being authentic and being the real self is very important, and consumption of information in the right manner is extremely important. So that's my pearls of wisdom, because otherwise I've been a target myself of wasting a lot of time on the digital media. So we forget a lot of things, including spending time with family, reading up, which is extremely important. We've forgotten reading newspapers and books. So all of that is important, and dividing the time well.
And it's always said, in stillness is where you really find
True.
your answers.
Yes.
So I think
True.
you're leaving us on a very powerful note of being your authentic self.
Yes.
And living in moderation, but
True.
living wisely.
True.
And, it couldn't have been a much more brighter
Thank you.
takeaway bag.
But this has been fun. With you, I think I'm doing it for the first time, and it's been so much fun. So great.
Likewise.
And thank you for giving me an opportunity to kind of reach out to a larger
It's
audience.
really humble of you and generous of you, but it was an absolute delight, pleasure, and honor.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank
to
you so
be in your
much.
presence and
Yes.
have such a lot of insight in the
Thank
little short time that we have shared.
Yes,
Looking forward
indeed.
to much more ahead. But
Likewise.
thank you for being on Her Voice.
Thank you so much. And I think what you've started as Her Voice has been great. And I'm looking forward to all the episodes that you guys are going to have. So that's going to be very interesting. So thank you for introducing this.